listen, I'm going to hit the horn. There you go. Who doesn't want to hit the horn? Everybody wants to hit the horn. I don't care who you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, babies in their diapers, welcome to the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.
That's me, Tiberius.
And welcome to the Tiberius Show today. And I'm your host, Tiberius Boy. And as always, we're looking at various jobs and how they affect the world around us. Today's guest is going to be very interesting. We're going to talk to a truck driver. Do you have any idea what a truck driver does? Well, I mean, I have an idea, but let's find out. Let me introduce our next guest. The one, the only, the amazing Jabrail Ali. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
you're listed as a truck driver. Can you tell my listeners exactly what do you do?
Sure. Well, a truck driver moves goods, products from various places, from the shipper to the receiver. So essentially everything that is tangible, all the games, TVs, food, comes on a truck. So you're talking about a lot of drivers, a lot of goods, a lot of highway. So somebody's got to do it, Tiberius, and I have the pleasure to do that.
Okay, so what prompted your interest in wanting to drive a truck for a living?
Well, actually, I first got my license in the early 2000s. I went to college and I started to think about different careers and what may fulfill me, if you will. So after going to school for about a month or so, got my license, and I said if I ever needed to fall back on a career, an opportunity, I think having something that you love that contributes to society that can give you some reward, just like what you're doing.
Okay, so what type of truck do you drive?
Sure. Well, there's a few major models. There's Volvos, Peterbilts, Freightliners, internationals. I drive a 2025 Freightliner Cascadia. It's the top of the line. It's the most sleek, fuel efficient. We got TVs, radios, CVs, all the buttons a kid could ever want to touch. It's loaded up in here. Absolutely.
But isn't it 2024?
Well, I'm in the future. It's like, you know how it comes out before the thing. So, yeah,
Okay.
there's that.
Well, do you sleep in it?
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of your first question, Tiberius, truck drivers, there's kind of three categories. There's the over-the-road truck driver who takes goods from one side of the country to the other. Then there's regional guys who go from one area, maybe not too far away from home, and bring stuff back. And then there's the local guys who bring it to the corner store. So there's 3.4 million guys and gals just like me who are helping keep America rolling. Most of the things, again, that you buy, your cell phones, your drinks, again, come via truck. 70% of all of those things come through truck drivers. So anytime you grab anything, think of truck driver.
So, what is the best part about being a truck driver?
Well, for me, fun fact, I'm going to let you learn. I was also a teacher before truck driving. So here's a fun fact. Only 2% of Americans have been to every state in the United States. So as a truck driver, for me, I've been to 49. All I'm missing is Alaska, but I haven't found a way to kind of take a truck all the way there, nor have I driven Hawaii. So there's so many places. Just earlier this morning, Tiberius, my father and I spent a lot of time. He likes astrology. I just passed near Flagstaff, Arizona, the largest meteor crater that is still in North America and on the planet Earth. So you see so many jewels of America, so many landscapes. It helps you understand the people. It helps you understand your place and what a great thing that I can do to help the farmers, the grocery folks. I mean, you name it. And so it's a remarkable career.
So, do you have to load the truck yourself?
No, for me, no. Most truck drivers just deal with the trucking, but I've worked for smaller outfits where I've taken things to the local dollar store, and sometimes, yeah, you have to unload it. And there's different pay structures for that. For me, I'm 44, so I have a nice bunk back here, TV, microwave, to give me some of those creature comforts while I'm out. Most drivers who drive over the road spend about 21 to 25 days away. So it can be tough for families to stay connected with their children and holidays and things of that nature. Some of the rewards are having a better salary than most. It's still pretty good money out there. But yeah, for me, it works out. I get to see my children pretty regularly. I get to see the country. I get to make a good living, and I've taken my boys. Hot boy summer back in 2023, I had two young boys come with me, and we spent time in Missouri seeing the Great Arch. We spent time in Chicago, Indianapolis, and what a remarkable time for young men to travel and spend some time making some money. Why not?
That's fun. So, what kind of things do you deliver?
Sure, deliver all type of things. You name it, from sodium bicarbonate, that's the baking soda, to soda. I mean, anything that comes on a truck, I pretty much nailed it. There's different type of trucks. There's the vans you see. That's what I'm driving now. There's flatbeds. There's tankers who deliver gas and other type of specialized cargo. And I have doubles, which I can drive double trucks. Have you ever seen those? So there's also these like little nuances of how goods and products have to get to you, like the clothing you got. You know, whoever made that, wherever they made it, it came on a boat, then it came on a truck, then it got to the local place and you picked it up. So it's about logistics. So it's an amazing opportunity.
Okay, so what is the coolest thing that you've ever transported?
Wow. I used to do flatbed, and I was so scared driving. You ever seen those big John Deere combines? I had to strap this thing down, and I swear I was going down the mountains, and it crickety crack down the track. It was nerve wracking, and so I thought that was pretty cool to deal with some heavy machinery that some farmer in Iowa is going to need to help provide the grains and the food that we all have to eat later on. So it's amazing sometimes being a part of that journey.
Well, do you get to see the items first?
See the items first? Yeah, absolutely. A part of our job, safety-wise, again, all that cool stuff aside, taking the kids, jumping out of the truck, maybe sometimes eating on the side at a rest area, playing frisbee and whatnot. The number one job of a driver is to be safe, well rested, be in good shape. We have to take annual checkups every 2 years to make sure we are healthy to get in and out. We're supposed to secure and strap our loads, because the cars that we're driving that you see, they may weigh 5,000 pounds. We weigh 80,000 pounds. Another fun fact, force equals mass times acceleration. So we can harm a lot of people, and we have to take our job seriously, because we want to make sure we get home, help other families be successful. So safety is our number one job. And yeah, we have to make sure we look at our product and sometimes take pictures and make sure we're doing all we can do to say, hey, we delivered your goods the best we can, and leave the rest where it needs to be. So yeah, we have to check it out.
So what is one thing you think kids should know about being a truck driver?
Wow. One thing I should know, I would say that you will spend some time by yourself, and that can be a journey all unto itself. A lot of times we're just driving down a highway, but for me, I've learned other skills. I kept learning the guitar type areas. I've learned how to invest my money better. You know, you spend a lot of time, and that changes you. Some people have to deal with the alone time, which different people operate differently. So a lot of times it's you coming to learn yourself and travel the journey for yourself. And I think if you enjoy the journey, you're going to get to the destination a lot better.
Okay. Well, here seems like a good time to take a quick commercial break. Let's hear word from our sponsors.
So you want to make an ad for your company, right?
Yeah, Tiberius, you want to help me?
Okay, so what's the name of the company?
PPWND.
PP what?
Professional Pressure Washing and Detailing.
So you like clean driveways?
Yeah, like that. We pressure wash commercial buildings and semi-truck and trailers.
So how would someone get a hold of you?
They can visit my site at ppwnd.com or call me at 407-900-7793.
So I just tell them to call you at 407-900-7793 or visit ppwnd.com?
Yeah, Tiberius, you got it.
Cut! That's a wrap! Just use that.
Oak Ridge Gun Range is a family-oriented shooting range that has been in business for over 30 years. They specialize in basic firearm training and offer numerous services such as consignments, gun trades, gunsmithing, and concealed weapon classes. I even got my training for gun safety at Oak Ridge Gun Range. Great customer service, and firearm safety is what they do best. So find out more at oakridgegunrange.com.
And we're back here talking with Jabrail Ali. Jibreel is a truck driver that drives a big rig. So, Jibreel, what is it like to live on the road?
Well, it's a balance between doing the job of driving. There's a certain amount of time that the government, the states allow us to drive. And so we have to deliver. People are counting on us. If you ever go into the store and not had what you wanted, it might be a problem for folks. So there's a lot of intense focus on us making sure we do our job, but things happen. So we have to be timely. So there's that. There's also just the living part, eating, sometimes balancing diet, exercise, stopping at a gym regularly. For me, as I just told you, I do a lot of sightseeing. If I can get out to a place like San Francisco, LA, Minnesota, you name it. I enjoy the scenic part of that, the adventure in that. Then there's some alone time. Again, thinking about where you want to go next for yourself, just as much as the load. So again, it's a lot of planning that has to take place in order for you to be successful at it. Because if you're not delivering your loads, you won't be a truck driver long.
Yeah. So, how long on average are your trips?
Sure. On average, most drivers, like myself, do anywhere from about over the road 2,500, 3,000 miles a week, which if you were to think about it, that's from one side of the country and back, New York to Los Angeles. So you're talking about adding it up over time. Drivers drive 10,000 miles a month, 100,000 miles a year. And you do it for 10 years, you're at 1 million miles. I've been doing it about 6 years, so I'm at about 500,000 miles, and the moon is about 300 some odd miles away. So I've been to the moon and back, truck driving, if you think about it. And so it's a rewarding experience that comes with some concern. I've had a couple of oopsies, but good news is I was trained enough to make sure I didn't damage much more than what needed to be damaged. Because some things are not your fault. The weather, things could happen out here. It's very dangerous. If you were to go to most dangerous jobs, trucking is high up there. So say your prayers at night. Do your job. Be safe. And again, that's one of the major things. The hallmark of a good driver is not only just seeing the sights and maybe cooking, fishing, whatever adventures said person may like to go on, but making sure we're being safe so we can go home to our loved ones just as much as you're going home tonight.
Okay. So do you listen to music or podcasts to learn stuff while you're driving?
Oh, absolutely. Again, coming from a school background, one of my mentors always told me about learning, and you never stop learning. So absolutely, listened to podcasts from a variety of different sources. I've listened to music that and learn different ideas about myself and others that open me up to new ideas and new possibilities. So absolutely, music is one of my therapeutic go-tos. And it's a lot of highway time, a lot of time to find your favorite artists and tap in for sure.
Okay, so what's your favorite food to eat in the truck during long trips?
Listen, it's a sensitive spot for me. Someone who, on one hand, wants to be driven, and then once you drive, you get tired. It's hard sometimes managing a good, healthy lifestyle, as a lot of options for drivers are not so present at any random truck stop or provider. So you have to spend your time, if you can, get to a neighbor grocerer, right, and prepare your own things. I have microwave and air fryer to kind of do my own thing. So for me, sometimes a home cooked meal is good. But my comfort foods, I'm sorry to tell you, go to those chips. Sunflower seeds are a good one for me. I think Mountain Dew. I don't like to give them any shout out, but I think they're the sweet nectar of the trucking gods. You got to have that going for you for a long haul. Coffee in the morning for maybe a cold night. So a couple of things: coffee, Mountain Dew, chips, and a hot dog and some chicken wings. Never hurt me. Never hurt me at all.
So what's the hardest part about being a truck driver?
Sure, missing out on family time is one of the hallmarks of truckers who have to be out here, who do over the road, spending so much time out. So I've unfortunately missed some key dates. I made them up in my own way. We spent some time doing some amazing things, but you can't quite be there. For example, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. I made the opportunity to sacrifice now so I can make sure that we have an amazing Christmas following up. So these are some things dads and truckers and parents and those who have to make sacrifices for their loved ones just going to have to do. And I'm pleased on the one hand to look for the future, planning for the future, but tonight I have to warm up my own macaroni and cheese, turkey and cranberry sauce, but we'll make it on through.
Alright. Well, do you talk to other truck drivers while you're on the road?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of the companies and friends that I've made, bumping into them here and far, I've made a good friendship, a brotherhood, fraternity, checking on them. Hey, how's the weather report? Showing them what's going on with me and how's it going on with you? It's a camaraderie, it's a brotherhood. So for sure, there's a number of drivers that are beyond drivers. They become friends and allies and supporters in those times where we both have to just say, yeah, I remember too, going down that dark road, going down that icy road. Hold your wheel, keep it straight, lock on in, and a lot of times that can help you get that extra mile.
Okay, so do you box in bad drivers?
Listen, I used to be a young kid. One of my things when I was about your age, I wanted to be a race car or fast driver of sorts. I used to have, I think, a Fast and Furious just started coming out, so I had an e-brake, and I loved going around the corners. But as I've learned to kind of getting a little older, my beer's getting a little salty again. 44 years old. I've learned to kind of just take it slow. So when you see the craziness happen out there, Tiberius, I just back it on off, put it in gear, listen to some country western, and just zone out. That's just beyond it, because I did a math planning calculation. Well, if I rushed 50 mile an hour, 60 mile an hour, it's only 10 miles that are a difference between point A and point B 1 hour later. But those 10 minutes of stress and 10 minutes of anxiety, honking the horn, hitting, that 1 hour is now ruined. So it's better just back off of the gears, take it easy, and just let it flow for a while. That's my advice.
Okay. So what is the best advice that you've ever received, and who gave you that advice?
As a truck driver, or just in general?
In general.
Sure. I think the best advice I would give you is be yourself. Be authentic to you. Whatever you believe is fundamental to your existence and for your survival and for your edification, go for it. So for me, as a young kid that, from Orlando, I was fortunate enough to have a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience. And I wanted to keep learning and keep expanding. I mean, don't be boxed in. So many people only know the farm or only know the corner that they come from. And it's a big country out here. And again, as I said, learning about the states and learning about myself have been tremendous in helping me want to learn even further and apply. I'm going to school next semester for some additional courses and some computer stuff. So I haven't stopped applying all of the wits and talents that I have. I think I would say that for anybody. So if you love computers, go for it. If you love gaming, go for it, and try to make it profitable for you. If you're excited about it, how can you lose? When you were happy, how did you never lost when you're happy.
Never lose. Well, on that note, let's do a quick break to pay some bills.
The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of their dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom Braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering to trophies and awards. The cool part about Custom Designs is they can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373 and tell them that
Tiberius
sent you.
Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org.
And we're back with Jabrail Ali, a truck driver that travels all over the U.S. So, Jibreel, what was that one thing that happened as a truck driver that you did not expect?
I prided myself on being a good truck driver and still do. I go with Ali, the greatest truck driver of all time. I always believe in trying to do your best. In not doing my best, one time I unfortunately had to fall into the siding because of some bad driving on others and me rushing a little bit. And so it helped me more crystallize the importance of being safe. Because had it been a couple of different factors, that idea of being on that movie set driving in the highway where it was going to be me in a truck, and it was a little more real when it happens. And so I keep that in my back pocket every day. Check the tires, check your brakes, give yourself distance. Don't rush it, because 10 minutes can now affect you for more than that time. So it's an unfortunate thing, but a lesson learned. And sometimes that's a good winner. You got to learn how to lose.
Yeah. So how often do you have to clean your truck?
Well, I think any good driver, as I got back into driving a number of years ago, Tiberius, I had another driver who he and I shared the truck, and we had to do COVID protocol inside of a truck. So, put the mask on. And so I think there's daily cleaning up for yourself and for the vehicle. There's other things on the outside. Maybe it's hard. It's a high-duty machine going through a lot of dust and a lot of variables. So about once a month, you want to clean your truck. But on a daily clean up after yourself to keep some of the dust out. I think it's about being a professional, being clean. Keep your mind sharp.
So what is the coolest thing you've seen as a truck stop?
Well, there are some really great truck stops. If you were to look up, there's I-80 in Iowa. It's the largest truck stop in America. It has a whole bunch of retail shops. There's other small truck stops. I was in Washington, and there was a very quaint little shop, and it had the best little ice cream you would have ever tasted, made with some sort of local raspberry honey. It was tremendous. And so again, one time a friend asked me, "What's your favorite state?" And I said it like this: if you ever had really good friends, Tiberius, it's like having really good friends. Sometimes when I go visit this friend, they have pizza. I come over to this friend, they have chicken. In West Virginia, they have more woods than Tennessee and hills and everything. In New York, it's a little more hustle and bustle. So depends on how I feel at a given time. You don't always eat the local hamburger shop. You like to switch it up. So kind of in the same breath. The communities are different, and to sort of immerse yourself into different people's enjoyment, their authenticity, their way of celebrating, their ideals, to be in Rome for a moment is a tremendous opportunity at times.
So, with the rise of AI and automating stuff, do you think automated driving trucks are going to replace your job?
Great question. That is a long-term concern, maybe not for the next foreseeable future. Again, I can only tell you what I know and what I believe. There's still so many things that go beyond just the technology of AI, but the application of how the mechanics will work out with the vehicle, meaning, are we still on diesel now? The batteries won't quite suffice. And then there's a whole bunch of things that the entire country is infrastructure around that would have to change. I would say this: there is some concern for the smaller drivers for sure, as the local markets may tend to gravitate to that type of business structure. Are the American people confident to a degree? Do technologies degree? Are the insurance companies? There's a lot of layers there that would hesitate for me thinking that in the next upcoming days, right? 2025, it's not, but 10 to 15 years, absolutely. There's going to, what from the knowledge I have, there's an exponential spike of knowledge that will happen. And there may come a time in which there may be a little bit more automation with this truck and driver, meaning the truck can handle the longer distance application of it. So maybe now 17-year-olds would be able to enter the market and be having opportunities to not necessarily do all of the commands that are now a part of the current. I mean, hey, had a different setup when they had buggies, and it's a different setup. So as time evolves, there will be changes to drivers, the safety requirements, the opportunities that are available, but not necessarily now. Give it some time, 5 to 10 years before I think it could ever fully be applied to the American landscape. This might be.
So, what was the biggest mistake you've ever made, and how did it change you as a person?
The biggest mistake? Sure. I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist, but I try to do my best. And for me, it's learning what my capabilities were, Tiberius, with the family and friends that I had, my abilities to perform in whatever profession. And so I believed in people and relationships, and that sometimes have been a struggle for me to manage. But for me personally, I would just say just not achieving the daily goals that I have to set out for. If I want to drive 400 miles, I might only drive 297, as opposed to having only 3 pieces of chicken, I had 4 pieces and a biscuit. As opposed to, not getting the adequate sleep, I stayed up and watched some extra videos. So I try to keep the mistakes within a well-balanced okay-ism, so I don't fly off the rails, because at my time and my situation requires much responsibility from me. Individually and as a professional. So I can't afford to, I tell my standards are pretty high. Failure is just simply not an option. It's not, can't crash, can't mistake, can't fail. I got to add up the quarters. That's where we're at right now. And so it brings a level of discipline that makes me better than I would have not been otherwise.
Okay, so do you play video games? And if so, what's your favorite one?
Sure. When I was way younger, I stayed playing PlayStation, Madden, 2K. I'm a little older now. I guess I'm getting dusty. My kids say I'm a Neanderthal of some sorts. So I'm doing solitaire. I play this one soccer game on my tablet. It's a good digital facsimile. I used to play soccer when I was a little young kid. I scored 6 goals. All right, so watch out now. I was a young Mbappe, Ronaldo. Watch out now. All right. So
Messi?
that allows me some. Sorry, he is the GOAT. Sorry, the GOAT. Sorry, the GOAT. All hell the GOAT. But so I do a little bit of that, and for the most part, I just follow news and just stay up with the local things. And as my children get a lot older, I've been getting really. I used to be cool, Tiberius. I really was cool. Now I'm becoming just like stay in the house, don't go anywhere, don't break anything. I just want to strum my guitar real quietly. Don't make any noises. It's a thing.
So, what's your favorite book to read?
Sure. The favorite book that I ever read was In the Wilderness. I forgot who was the author of that. But the reason why it applies now and applies then, and for any young man, I would say you have to go out into the wilderness. Like in Sparta, they raised their young men to be brave and stoic, so I can appreciate a lot of their philosophy. And I think any person who is of substance has to spend some time in the wilderness. If you got any heroes, when I was about 12 years old, Aladdin used to be Allah. They used to kind of do that with me, Ali and Aladdin. So Prince Ali, mighty is he, Ali Allah. Anyway, so he spent time in the wilderness. And so it creates a new Lion King. Simba went out in the wilderness. So in that book, it talked about how, in sorts, man of substance, where I would want to go for me, you got to write some goals down, right? Who do you want to be? Do you want to be a great actor, and how do you want to achieve it? So essentially, that was my favorite book I read, and I recommend it for anybody who has some questions.
Okay. Now, can you tell me that one story? You remember, this is a kid's show. But that one story, that you're not supposed to tell me about. Come on, you can tell me.
Okay, so it was Christmas time, and I was about 7 years old, and there was a commercial that showed the young kid leaving Oreo and milk out on the mantle on the fireplace. And just so happened, I'm in Orlando, Florida. It happened to be cold. About 5 years old. You know what? It's happening now. It's my time. And I unfortunately, mom and dad told me to go to sleep, Tiberius, but I saw them come in with the thing when I snuck out, and I messed it up.
I tell people this: Santa is not a person, but it's a feeling. It's an emotion. It's a gift to give to others.
It changed and it wasn't real anymore after that, Tiberius. It wasn't real.
Always believe in the Christmas magic. Well, is
Absolutely.
there anything else you think my listeners should know about you and what you do, and not anything else about Christmas?
Fair enough. No, I'm a professional truck driver. I used to be into politics and community activism, educator, and other than that, just a dad and a local guy from Orlando trying to make a difference. So I appreciate your time here. Thank you guys for learning a little bit about trucking. You can visit me at alitruckingusa.com. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook if you care to. And we're just out here getting it done. Maybe you can be the next truck driver. Maybe I can show you how to, put it in gear and hit some cool buttons or something. I don't know, right? Who knows? You want to hop in? Listen, you can hop in. It's not a problem. Coming to a town near you.
I don't know, Orlando. That would be the main one.
There you go. I-4 it is. We're locked in.
I-4, yeah.
We're going. Listen, and all you, listen, for your listen, I'm going to hit the horn. There you go. Who doesn't want to hit the horn? Everybody wants to hit the horn. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. You want to hit the horn. I got the best job. Without that.
So what is that one question that you think I forgot to ask you?
When's my birthday?
When is your birthday?
June. When's your birthday?
When's your birthday?
June 5th. With Gemini.
My birthday?
This part's going to be gone.
January 26th.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
2 months. Getting there. Getting there. Then I'll turn 14.
You'll be. I was going to add. I was going to say. I was going to predict. I was going to say 15. I'm going to say 15.
So I'm turning 14
Listen.
next year, and then, because of high school, because I'm going to go to high school, I'm going to go into driver's ed because I'll be exactly 14 and a half for summer.
Listen, man. It's something about the American. You get in the car and it's all yours. So I'm telling you, you get in the car and it becomes your own world. You're in your own movie. You're your own main character. Okay.
Only problem is that
You
Dad said he's not gonna pay.
Well, listen, what we're gonna do is, I know a couple of trucker friends. Listen, for every cent per mile or so, we'll come up with it, and we see. Listen, it's no problem. It's not an issue. I got 3.4 million friends. We'll get it done. We'll beat Dad to the punch.
Well, thank you, Jibreel, for being my special guest. Can you stick around for Math Corners?
Of course.
Aw, Dad, my computer's slow again and I can't play my games.
Call Your Computer Solutions today, and we will scan for viruses and clean that computer up remotely and make it fast again. Our phone number is 407-826-0810.
Thanks, Dad. My computer's fast again. Now I can do my homework. Thanks for calling Your Computer Solutions at 407-826-0810.
Tiberius' favorite subject, it's Math Corners!
And now it's time for Math Corners. Thank you, Jabrail, for helping me with Math Corners. And this week, we're going to do some one-step word problems. My dad's always good at finding new problems for me to solve. And today, we're going to talk about travel distance. Oh, okay. So a truck driver named Maria is making a delivery. She has 600 miles to drive and has to make one stop along the way for a mandatory break. For the first part of the trip, she has an average speed of around 60 miles an hour. Then after her break, she has the remaining distance at an average speed of 50 miles an hour. If Maria spends a total of 11 hours driving, how far does she drive before stopping for her break?
Do I get to phone a friend?
No, answer it.
Well, again, you mentioned Maria driving a first distance of 60 miles an hour, right? Is that correct? Okay. Well, if the first leg she drove 60 miles an hour, how many hours did she drive? If
11.
she drove, let's call it, well, she would have bypassed her destination by a few miles.
Well, there's
606.
There's two speeds. Okay, you know what? I'll just explain it because I think I'll just go ahead and do it. Well, first is a real-world problem because, well, truck drivers should have brakes, but usually I think they average the same speed most of the trip because there's two speeds. So first, we know that she's going 600 miles total. So let's make X represent the distance she traveled before her break. That means the distance after her break is 600 minus X. Okay. Now we know that time
Oh,
equals
no,
distance divided by speed. So we can fill those values with, well, the time for the first part of the trip is x divided by 60 miles per hour. And then the time for the second part is 600 minus x divided by 50 miles an hour. So now the total time is 11 hours. So that means x divided by 60 plus 600 minus x equals 11. So now we just look for the common denominator, which is 300. That gives us 5x plus 3,600 minus 6x equals 3,300. Starts at 3, and then you subtract the 3,600 to get 300, and simplifying to get, x equals 300. Really, Dad? This was really easy. It was just halfway there. So she took 300 miles before stopping her break and 300 miles after. That was a really easy question, but we really explained it too much. So, Jibreel, do you have to plan out trips with forced breaks when you drive?
Yeah, it's a part of what we do for sure.
Well, my teacher said that I would use math every day. How do you use math with your work?
Sure, I do use math, simple math, and doing a little bit of algebra. What you just did there. There's two sides of that trip there. I like that how you plotted that out, where there's an X factor, and then there's another side to that equation, and trying to balance that to equal what you need. For me, it starts with 24 hours, and having to determine how many hours I'm going to use to get to my destination. I left from Denver, Colorado to get to Phoenix, Arizona, which in fact was nearly that mileage that you just gave. It's about 800 miles. And there was two legs of that story where I drove about 60 on one half and about 65 the other. That's exactly what I just had to do. For sure.
So, thank you so much, Jabrail, for your help with Math Corners. And now it's time for the Heart of a Lion. As you know, we talk about the qualities of living by the heart of a lion, which stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and ability. This week, we're talking about integrity. For me, I think integrity is doing what is right, even when no one else is looking. The qualities of integrity is honesty, sincerity, truthfulness, and fairness. So, during our math test today, I noticed Liam, the kid who's always cracking jokes, sneaking glances at his phone under the desk, maybe the class clown. Well, I didn't think much of it until Mrs. Carter walked past and asked if everything was okay. And Liam was looking at his phone, but he could have easily hidden the phone. But instead, he handed it to her and said, "Sorry, I was using it to look up a formula. If we were mid-math test, it won't happen again." So the whole class went silent, waiting for her to explode, just waiting for it. But she just nodded and took the phone. Later, I caught up with Liam and asked why he didn't just hide it. He shrugged and just said, "Because it wouldn't feel right. If I'm gonna pass, it's gotta be because I earned it." That hit me hard. Because most people think integrity is some big heroic thing. But today, I realized it's also about owning up to your mistakes, even when no one's watching you, or when it's easier to lie. So, Jabrail, did you see or use integrity at all this week?
Integrity is what we have to do every day. It's about who we are, being honest to ourselves and to what we believe. So I see it everywhere I go. I see it from the time that I wake up and the time that I go to bed. So I've been fortunate enough to see it. I've been fortunate enough to be given the opportunity to try to become what I believe is fundamental to not fail the test of leadership and of manhood. Absolutely.
Well, of all of the Heart of Lion virtues, which is the one that you see the most?
Leadership.
Why?
I think it's so important. Why? My mother said this to me, Tiberius. She said, either you're going to be a leader or you're going to be a follower. And there's nothing wrong with being either. And if you're going to be a follower, follow someone, Tiberius, who's going to lead you correctly. And if you're going to be a leader, lead someone correctly. And of those two, it is even more difficult to take the responsibility and mantle of leadership when others may be just as apprehensive about the situation that they may be undertaking. So for me, the simple stoic choice of choosing leadership, wherever it is, I relish it, because that's the only way we get better is by becoming better selves.
So we should always try to be lying strong in everything that we do, shouldn't we?
Absolutely. Lions forever.
And that's our show, folks. I want to thank the one, the only, the amazing Jabrail Ali for being on my show. It has been so efficient talking to you today. I think we learned a lot about your career as a truck driver and what is required to move all of our stuff around. Do you mind giving your social media or website again?
Yeah, visit us at ollietruckingusa.com.
Well, also, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at The Tiberius Show. And I would like to thank WWPR 1490 AM, KNT98, Soul Radio 24/7, Easy Way TV, and all the other stations that air my show. Now, please be sure to visit The Tiberius Show on YouTube and hit that subscribe button. Jibreel, are you subscribed yet?
Bing!
So, yes. Okay.
Mine just binged. When it binged, it just subscribed. Now I got a notification. You didn't get it?
No, I didn't. We'll check after the show. And be sure to leave me a comment if you want to grow up and be a truck driver. I answer all of the comments myself. And be sure to listen to us next time on The Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy!